I'm trying my best to hold my together, but I don't want to keep doing this.
You're okay, you're okay. We'll just do this faster and get after it.
You're going to have like 15 laps to go to this stage end. If you do not want to do it when you get back out here, you can bring it in, okay?
There's just so many things that I could say right now, and I'm just trying to keep it together about the director of the series.
Try to keep your composure and try to just breathe, and if you're not comfortable with this, come in. Let's remember what's on our truck and just bring it to the garage, right?
I feel like a fucking failure if I do that.
You're not. Let's do that. Drive it down the garage.
There's so many things I want to say, and I'm probably going to get suspended. You have no idea.
Hey, just pay attention to the spotter. He'll get you into the garage. It'll be okay.
I'm not going to come back to the truck series. Garrett can take it from here on out. This series sucks.
I hear you. I'll have a fresh bottle of water for you when you get out of the truck.
The amount of hate I'm going to get online for this is just going to be insane. I'm not ready.
Initially, I thought maybe this was a 911 call. I actually felt bad for the woman because she is clearly in distress. Maybe her house was on fire. Maybe she was running away from an abusive husband. But the caller in distress, she's not running away from her husband, her boyfriend. She was running away and quitting a NASCAR race. You know, growing up, I always heard that saying, there's no crying in baseball. I would imagine the same applies in NASCAR, which is an event filled with what the mainstream media would describe as toxically masculine men. The feminine voice you heard on the call, it was a former female NASCAR driver named Natalie Decker. Now, I say former because after she publicly humiliated herself, I would imagine her NASCAR career is over. I cannot imagine the dudes who were forced to deal with this emotional meltdown. I cannot imagine they want to work with Natalie Decker again. Friday night, Natalie Decker was given a black flag for driving too slow. I wish they had those black flags on the interstate so every woman who's driving too slow would be forced to get the hell out of my way. After she was given the black flag, Natalie Decker had a full-blown meltdown, and just 81 laps into the race, she quit. The thousands, maybe even millions of dollars that were spent for this race, all that money wasted because Natalie Decker could not control her emotions. To make matters worse, she wasn't worried about her teammates. She wasn't worried about her pit crew, her sponsors. The only thing Natalie Decker was worried about was how she was going to be perceived on social media, which means in the midst of this emotional meltdown, the only thing Natalie Decker was worried about was Natalie Decker. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the main channels in the description below. I don't know how it works in NASCAR because I don't watch, but I cannot imagine money is going to be wasted again to put Natalie Decker back on the track. This might be controversial to say, but this really shows you the difference between men and women. I'm not saying that dudes can't have emotional meltdowns. Hell, just look at Draymond Green. I'm sure there have been instances in NASCAR where male drivers have lost emotional control. But the difference is how it's handled. If you listen to that clip, you can tell that the men are handling Natalie Decker very carefully. If this was a dude named Nathan Decker, and he's crying during the middle of a race, he's threatening to quit, he's worried about how he's going to be perceived on social media. Boys, I'm losing control. I hate this race. This is miserable. They keep penalizing me for driving too slow. It's so unfair. I hate all of you. I quit. If Nathan Decker does that, you know what the reaction would be? For starters, Nathan Decker unlikely to do that because he knows every other dude in the crew would roast him relentlessly for being too weak. But if he does have a meltdown, the crew's not handling him gently. They're not worried about his feelings. They're telling him to man up and finish the damn race. But with a woman, the dynamic is completely different. I would imagine that the men in that crew knew that they could not yell at Natalie Decker. They couldn't say what they really wanted to say because that would make the situation significantly worse. Men and women are just different. Last night, me and my wife were watching the fights on Netflix, which was a complete waste of time. The only reason I wanted to watch, I wanted to see Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz, one of my favorite fighters. He's small, but Nate Diaz is arguably the toughest pound-for-pound fighter in the history of UFC. But at 41 years old, Nate Diaz found out the hard way last night that age remains undefeated. We're watching the fight, which was basically Nate Diaz getting his ass kicked. He's bleeding more than an elephant on its menstrual cycle. The entire time, my wife is begging me to turn it off. This is too violent. I hate seeing all that blood. Why won't they stop the fight? He needs to go to a hospital immediately. I'm calling the ambulance. Meanwhile, Uncle KC and the dozens of dudes in attendance in the arena last night, and by dozens, I mean literally dozens. This event by Jake Paul, it was a colossal failure, but all the dudes in America watching last night weren't bothered by this. Men and women are just different. Women have a tendency to over-dramatize. They have a tendency to magnify situations that really aren't that big of a deal, which is exactly what happened Friday night with Natalie Decker. Unfortunately, though, for her, this could be a career-ending over-dramatization. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.